Oh, favourite day of the week. I love Thursdays. Chill out day for me. Podcasting, vlogging, and beer. I love Thursdays. Also, we're going to be celebrating today. 316 day. And also, we're on a new platform here for the podcast. I think this is going to be a good episode. Well. Welcome back to the Moor Army podcast for another episode. I don't even know what episode this is. I've actually lost count of how many episodes I've actually recorded of this podcast now since I brought it back there all those months ago. But anyway, yes, hey ho, we're back for another episode. It's Thursday. It's my favourite day of the week. I love Thursdays. It's my cheat day. It's my beer day. It's my day to switch off from the world. It's a day to do a podcast. And it's my day to enjoy. Now, I'm a little bit disappointed today because obviously the Liverpool result last night, but we'll talk about that shortly. But before we go any further, hello to all our listeners on TuneIn Radio. That's right, we made the announcement last night. We are officially, as of this, all our episodes are on there now, but this is the first one we're dropping alongside all our other platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, etc., on TuneIn Radio. So hello to all our new listeners on TuneIn Radio. Thank you for tuning in to the Moor Army podcast. If you're tuning in for the first time, thank you so much. Hello, welcome to the program. But yeah, it's great to finally be on TuneIn Radio. It took us a while to get us on there, but I basically sat after recorded the podcast on Tuesday and I harassed TuneIn Radio to get it online, and guess what? They put it up and we are officially on TuneIn Radio. So holly, after all those weeks and months of saying it, holly fucking Luya. We are finally on the platform. I'm so glad to be on it. So hello everybody, welcome to the Moor Army podcast on TuneIn Radio. If you listen to us regularly on Spotify, Apple Music or YouTube, welcome back. But before we go any further in the podcast, I like to do for anybody who's listening to us for the first time today, it's the housekeeping I like to call it, where I like to let you know how to get in touch with us here on the program. There's no bullshit on this program, guys. If you're tuned in for the first time, I'm pretty much, hence why it's called Unleashed now, but they've completely changed the name to, used to be called just the Moor Army Podcast Unleashed on a Thursday, normal podcast on a Tuesday, but now we're just called Moor Army Podcast and then Unleashed, because I can pretty much have an opinion without people like the little fucking snowflakes in the world coming in, which I've had quite a few since Tuesday, believe me. That's hilarious. Coming in saying that I'm far-right extremist, etc., but we'll talk about that in just a moment. But anyway, moving on to the business at hand. If you'd like to get in touch with us here on the Moor Army podcast, the best way to do it is by the following methods. If you have a subject you'd like to hear us talk about, or you'd like to make an opinion on something, or anything at all, whether you want me to give someone a birthday shout out or a story you want to share with us here on the podcast, which a lot of you do, you can contact us by email first of all, which is moorarmypodcast@yahoo.com. Also the old trusty social media, which we've got a little subject to talk about today on social media, a social media platform. You can contact us on the Facebook page, which is Moor Army Podcast Moor Army YouTube channel, on Facebook. If you're listening to the podcast here, we are on YouTube. We are on YouTube 7 years next week, which we're going to talk about on the podcast today as well. 7 years. I just can't believe it's been 7 fucking years we've been on YouTube. It's insane. We're on 7 years this coming Wednesday. May even do a special podcast on Tuesday where we'll talk about our whole history, but I'll touch on it briefly here today as well. So you can contact us on the Facebook page, or if you'd like to contact me on the old Instagram, it's official Matthew Moore on Instagram, or if you'd like to go to our website to get your merch for the podcast, the YouTube channel, and more, which we're dropping more merch this week, definitely. As I said, we're now we've got the TuneIn Radio stuff out of the way. We need to get the fucking merch stand up and going because summer's coming around the corner as well. The summer merch last year done very, very well. I've seen a lot of you wearing it on holiday and stuff, so you need to get the finger out of the ass and get that sorted out. moorarmy.co.uk for all your bits and bobs. You can watch all the vlogs on there as well, and all the Red Men Football Adventure videos. And we're going to start dropping all the podcasts officially on there too as well. So, moorarmy.co.uk. Well, we've got some interesting stuff I want to talk about on the podcast today. A lot of you have been getting back to me about last Tuesday's episode. To be quite honest with you, I was kind of expecting it, to be honest with you. A lot of fucking hate from a lot of morons coming in over the last couple of days about the whole Gary Lineker saga we were talking about on the podcast. A lot of woke brigade, I call them, coming in with their little fucking stupid comments and stuff, and I just laughed it off and rolled my eyes and went, yeah, whatever. You know, if you don't like what I have to say. Guys, and again, if you're new to this podcast on TuneIn Radio, at the end of the day, you know, on my YouTube channel, I've been restricted to what I can say and do for the last 7 years, but on this podcast, it's my way of airing my grievances and talking about things that I want to talk about. And when I talked about the Gary Lineker situation this past Tuesday, some people come in with a lot of hateful comments towards me, saying that I was a far-right extremist and I should be supporting the BBC and all this bollocks, and Gary Lineker's right and all this crap. And I just looked at those emails and Instagram messages and just went, yeah, okay, whatever. You know what I mean? There was one particular one that literally told me to go and fucking hang myself. Like, that's how extreme these people are, because I don't agree with the narrative of the BBC and Gary Lineker, which is a little bit fucking extreme, to be honest with you. But I just wrote back to them saying, how pleasant of a person are you, the fact that you're taking time out of your day to tell people to go and commit suicide? How fucking sick are you? Yeah, that's the type of people who contact me, not regularly as much now, but occasionally when I touch a nerve, when I throw my fishing rod reel into the water, the pool of trolls, and reel them in and tease them and wind them up because they just have no life and they're just sad little morons who literally are pathetic. And again, guys, I've said this a million times before, if you don't like this podcast, why the fuck do you listen to me? Why do you listen to or watch our videos if you don't like us? Know what I mean? But anyway, that was a touchy subject about the whole Gary Lineker situation. And a lot of you have been getting in contact with me in the positive way. You know, I was even reading an article this morning on it saying that apparently he had a special agreement with the BBC over the Twitter claims. His agent claims that apparently now he thinks he's invincible. And I've seen a few news channels last night popping up on social media this morning saying that Gary Lineker basically can do and says he fucking pleases and gets away with it. Which is a little bit, you know, it's crazy because they were sacking a lot of presenters that are decent presenters, who even radio presenters who were let go after being in the job for so many years. See, recently, in my opinion, I think, and I've seen this, a lot of people saying this as well recently, the BBC have a thing now where you reach a certain age and they just get fucking rid of you. They sack you and get rid of you. It's as simple as it. Doesn't matter how long you've been there. But at the minute, a lot of people seem to be complaining about this whole Gary Lineker situation. Now, you do obviously get the ones from the other side who are fully on board what he says. And, you know, I watched a video on Instagram yesterday of Frank Warren, the boxing promoter, literally ripping into Gary Lineker and calling him everything you could think of under the sun. Search it up, guys. I think it's on YouTube as well. I was going to play an audio clip of it today on the podcast, but I didn't want to get done for copyright infringement. But Frank Warren basically says what I've been saying. You know, it's bullshit, and he gets away with fucking murder. But if I was like you or I, Joe Blogs down the street, we'd get crucified, hung by the balls, and sent home with our tail between our legs and never be seen or heard from again, and cancelled from every possible way of the public's eye ever again. You know what I mean? It's just, there's a whole lot of controversy going around about this over the last few days, which is just, it's crazy. And I've had people coming in, as I said, even to the extreme as well, telling me to go and fucking do what they want me to do, and it's nonsense. And to be quite honest with you, I'm tending to try and forget about the situation now because it's ridiculous. And, you know, no matter what, I mean, he's getting paid 1.4 million pounds a year, this guy, to sit on TV on a Saturday night and talk shit about football. Now, okay, he was a half-decent footballer in his day, but now he walks around like he's Mr. Invincible. And, you know, reading that article today about, you know, that apparently there was a special arrangement for them, and then the BBC, you know, have really looked at their social media policies and stuff. Have they got no backbone at the BBC? Have they no balls to stand up to people like this guy and just say, here, you broke our rules and regulations, you're going to be treated like everybody else? there's the door. See you later. You know what I mean? What's the fucking difference? That's just my opinion on it all, and it's just, I don't know. It's bullshit, to be honest with you. And again, I've had a lot of you guys contacting me over the last since Tuesday's podcast, saying your views on the whole Gary Lineker situation, and people say that I was right, people say that I was wrong. You all have your opinion, and I love hearing all your opinions, but when you get to the point where the little woke tards come out, I call them the woke dopes, the woke brigade, come out and like literally try to target me for having an opinion because I don't agree with their narrative and I don't agree with what they have to say and do, they literally try and, I don't know, be complete assholes about it. In fact, I've had 2 complaints about the video on YouTube as well about it. People complaining. Now, we don't get very many listeners on YouTube to what we do on the streaming services, the likes of Spotify and Apple Music, and now obviously we're on TuneIn Radio and whatnot. But again, these people are going out of their way to try and get me. Well, are they going to try and get me cancelled now? Bring it on, motherfucker! I don't care what you have to say. You know, I have a choice as a human being not to listen to you. But it's funny. But no, a lot of you have been getting in touch with me saying that you agree with it. And they agree that all you are saying maybe Gary Lineker should have been sacked from his job. Because a lot of people were talking about the whole Phil Thompson, Matt Letizia situation with Sky when they didn't agree with the whole vaccine process for COVID and whatnot. You know, and everybody has their own opinion on that. And again, there's a whole subject being brought up about freedom of speech and all this bollocks, and you could go on about it all day and go back and forward and argue about it and who's right, who's wrong, who's got an opinion, who doesn't. It's bullshit. And to be quite honest with you guys, I'm tired of talking about it, and I'm going to end the subject now because, to be quite honest with you, it's getting a little bit tiring now. But I want to thank everybody who has contacted me over the last couple of days about it and saying, you know, give me your view on it, because it really it is interesting to read your emails and your messages on Instagram and your messages on Facebook about it all, because it's nice to hear from you and hear what your thoughts of it is, you know, on this matter. Because at the end of the day, that's what this podcast is about an argy-bargy, you know, debate. You have your view, I have my view, you know, and we agree to disagree. I have conversations with you on Instagram, Facebook, whatever. I reply to some of your emails, you know, and I read out your emails here on the podcast. That's the whole point of this podcast, is to communicate with my listeners and my viewers on YouTube and whatnot. And it's great to have this platform now where I can speak freely and say these things, because, as I always say on YouTube, and I say here on the podcast, if you don't like it, don't listen. If you don't like what you hear and don't like what you see, then don't watch and don't fucking listen. But it's great to hear from all the ones who have honest opinion. Now, I have had ones who've come in and said that they don't agree with what I say, but they don't go to the extreme where they're basically telling me to go and fucking jump off a car park or go and run in front of a bus, or, you know, because they don't agree with my opinions on their narrative. So stick your opinions up your ass for all I care. Moving on. Here, have a guess who's back in the news today. And I said this weeks ago, and if you don't believe me, go back and fucking listen to it here on the podcast. Harry and Meghan are back in the news again. But listen to this here. Apparently, Harry's ex, is a biographer, has said and admitted that Harry is frightened of Meghan. I've been fucking saying that for weeks and months. He's come out today on a main top story on the news today and said that apparently he's scared of his wife. Listen, I've been saying this for weeks. He's fucking under the thumb more than anything else. If Harry and William's mum was around today, Meghan would be bitch slapped up the fucking face and told to sling her hook a long time ago. Harry would have never married this drama queen, over dramatic, oh, the world spins round me fucking drama queen. And that's being honest. I said this for weeks and months, and I've been talking to you guys about it off the program as well, and I've met people in public who've said the same thing. Harry is whipped. He's under the thumb. I've been saying it for a long fucking time, and now it's come out today that apparently his ex-biographer warns that apparently she's scary. I'll read some of the extracts from the article here. It says here, Prince Harry is frightened over Meghan Markle, according to the Duke of Sussex former biographer. Ansel Levin told GB News today that the Duchess of Sussex can be really scary. The royal commentator added that Prince Harry steps back to allow Meghan Markle to lead. What a bitch. Like, not her, him. Like, where's that whip sound? Like, whipped beyond whipped? Like, Levin says it's well known that Meghan is delightful unless you say something that doesn't she doesn't want you to say, and then she's really scary. For the love of fucking Pete. Seriously, like, what is going... And it says here, it goes on to say, this is fucking priceless. I think he's frightened of her because the way he looks at her. Oh, fuck me. It doesn't want to say something. Sorry. He doesn't want to say something if she wants to speak. If she wants to talk to someone before him, then he steps back. Oh my God, he's Megan's bitch. Harry is Megan's bitch. I've been saying this for months. She's in control of that marriage. This is the thing, guys, right? And you all know from watching my YouTube channel, and I've told you this story before, my relationship history is not the best, I'll be honest with you. I was married for 12 years. I'm divorced. I was with a girl for 3 years who you used to see on the YouTube channel, Andrea. It didn't work out. And then I was with Sandra for 2.5 years. And unfortunately, it didn't work out for reasons that I don't want to get into. But at the end of the day, the whole time that I was ever like that, I never once let anyone control me. Now, here's my opinion on it, right? Relationships, right? Men or women should not control a relationship. Every time I get into a relationship, I always tell the person that a relationship should be 50-50. Straight down the middle. None of this control bullshit. None of this nagging wife, nagging husband, controlling wife. He's under the thumb. He tells her what to do, where to go. Back in the old days, it was the fucking wife that was ordered around by the husband, and then nowadays you see all these women controlling men and have their balls in their fucking personal caper. Listen, I don't get involved in that bullshit. At the end of the day, I tell someone from the start, if I ever meet anybody else again, I'll tell them from the fucking start, a relationship is 50-50. Yes, we have our time. Yes, we are together. We are a couple. Our main priority is ourselves because of our couple. If you have kids, your kids are priority. My kids are priority, whatever. Family comes first, etc., etc. Relationships is 50-50 no matter what. No one tells the other person what to do. You always make time for each other. You always do things together, and the relationship's 50-50. If a girl walks in and goes, "Oh, sweetheart, I want to have a night out with the girls. We're going for someone's birthday or whatever," my answer would be, "Yeah, sure. Where you go? Happy days. Knock yourself out. You got enough money there? Not a problem." And then I would walk into her and say, "Here, listen, I'm going out with the boys, or I'm going out for a beer with my brother, or I'm going out for the weekend, I'm going to the Liverpool game or whatever." And she would turn around and say, "Yes, sweetheart, not a problem. Be safe, enjoy yourself, get there, let me know you're okay, blah, blah, blah." But see these relationships where people are fucking whipped and ordered around and told where to go, and they're scared of their husbands, or they're scared of their wives. Grow a set of fucking balls and tell these people straight, you're a human being. No one controls you. No one tells you what to do. Now, I'm always going to get a lot more fucking hate for what I say in this here, and to be quite honest with you, I couldn't give a fiddler's foot. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, a relationship should be give and take. 50-50. And I look at this here, and I've been seeing this with Meghan and Harry for fucking months. I know people personally as well who are whipped and under the thumb, and I've told them to their face, grow a set of balls, take your balls out of your girlfriend or your wife's purse, be a fucking man and say, look, listen, you can have your lifestyle, you're out all the time with your friends and having your life away from me, so why the fuck can't I? Or the other way around, I know females who are in marriages and relationships with their husbands and boyfriends who don't make an effort and don't give a shit and are just there for themselves and don't give a fuck, and they're always out with their boy mates and they're always out partying with their friends, while the female's left at home either with the kids or left at home like a mug. Grow a set of balls, say, listen, here you, this relationship's 50-50. If you want to make this relationship work and be fair on both parties, then I ain't going to be here no more. And this is another thing as well, annoys me about this world as well. Relationships end far, far too easy. People give up far too fucking easy because the world is so tempted to go out there and cheat. Like, for example, marriages don't last very long now. Relationships don't last very long now because people are too tempted to go out there and cheat. For example, all the online stuff. You've all these dating apps and websites you can go on to and meet other people and all this crap that's out there. Social media especially, where people can see other people and talk to other people behind their partners' backs and stuff. The way I operate, guys, is if you're with someone and you ain't fucking happy about a situation or if you've got an issue, you sit down and talk about it. Listen, I spent years when I was fucking married arguing over the stupidest shit that I regret still to this day. We had silly stupid bullshit arguments. We were young, we were stupid, and at the end of the day, we're both parties to blame. But I look back at those things and I always lose it as a learning curve. Every relationship I've ever been in, I learn from that and move forward and try and better myself the next time around. But nowadays, people give up too easy. People are too tempted to go out and cheat. People are too tempted to walk away too easily. People don't work for relationships anymore. And also, people control other people in relationships, which is bullshit. And that's my opinion. And if you don't agree with it, then that's fine. I tell everybody the same thing. A relationship should be 50-50. Two-way street, not a one-way street. And I look at Harry and Meghan, and I've been seeing this for fucking months. If Harry's mum was around, she would smack the piss out of her and tell her to piss off and leave her son alone. Now, his ex-biographers now come out and says that, apparently Harry's scared of her, which I'm not surprised. Now, maybe this is not true. I don't know. But body language is a big thing for me as well. How someone looks at you, how they are around you, their reaction around you, their actions around you whenever you're with them. And I look at them too and I see that Meghan is a fucking drama queen. Meghan loves the attention. Meghan's the type of person that I would never go near. I spoke to a boy in local football months ago and they were like, I see you mentioned on your podcast about Meghan and Harry. If Meghan come and try it on with you wouldn't say no. I'd say I would tell that drama queen to go and fucking do one. People like that I don't have in my life. I see these people who walk around thinking the world spins around them. Need to take a good look at themselves in the fucking mirror. And that's just being honest. But now that stories come out about Meghan and Harry, I just laugh. All I can say is I fucking told you so. Because these two are clowns and he needs to grow a set of balls and put her in her fucking place. But that's just my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. Because a lot of you joke and laugh at me, my listeners joke and laugh at me all the time and send me photographs of when they're out in the bookshop or something they're in. A lot of you sent me stuff whenever you're in the likes of Sainsbury's, Tesco's, bookshops, whatever, and you seen the book, Harry's book and stuff like that. You sent me a photograph saying, would you like me to get you a signed copy, Matthew? Would you like me to send you a copy in the post? Just we banter back and forward, which I fucking love. I absolutely love my listeners. But the point is, though, I'm not surprised for what I see here in relation to them two. I'm really, 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 really not surprised. And if he is under the thumb, then he's a bigger fool for letting her control him. And that's just being honest. So it is. Grow some balls, Harry. As the saying goes, blink twice if you feel like you're being a hostage and you need help. Blink twice into the camera. So we'll know you're fucking need help. Unbelievable. I saw a wee story pop up here this morning, which was it's a bit crazy, but I saw a thing there this morning. A huge blaze rips through hotel housing which is housing Ukrainian refugees. Over 30 people, including children, were evacuated from the building. I don't know why there's any serious injuries or even a death. It was 6 a.m. this morning it broke out, which is pretty extreme and sad to see. So it is, but speaking of Harry, keeping on the subject of Harry and Meghan, Prince William has come out today saying, because obviously when William and Harry's mum was around, she done a lot of great charity work back in the day. Diana did stuff for the of the homeless and people in underprivileged countries and cancer patients. She was the type of woman back in the day where in the 80s and early 90s where people were saying about even when AIDS first came around on the scene, it was oh no, you can't go near people with AIDS, you can't touch them, you can't hug them, you can catch AIDS all these different ways by hugging someone or hair particles which was a lot of bullshit. And people were scared to go near them and used to see all these adverts on the TV about AIDS and whatnot. And Diana was kind of no, screw you, bullshit. I'm going to here to see these people. I'm going to hug these people. And I'm going to help these people and the best I can and support these people. And she was one of the first people to actually do that. And some of the work that she done in relation to children and the subject we want to talk about now, homelessness. Homelessness. Prince William's come out this morning there and admits that his mother Diana would be disappointed over the lack of progress on homelessness. He says he's admitted that his mother Princess Diana would be disappointed in the lack of process made in tackling the situation, which I agree. And guys, I've talked about this before and I'm not going to get into the whole race thing here, the whole bullshit again, but There's a lot of people in the UK who are not even being put into homes, and these people who are coming in off these fucking dinky boats are getting straight put back into hotels and stuff. Why can't they put our ex-military people or people who are legitimately from the UK who are homeless into these hotels instead of bringing these ones off the boats who are going around with machete swords and causing fucking rats and fights and stabbing people, raping women and going ballistic? I've seen things over the last week or so that make your fucking teeth itch about these guys coming in with swords and gangs and even down south. I mean, I'm going down south here next week to Dublin, and I'm shit scared of going down, and because I've heard about all these Romanian guys knocking around the town, and they're getting into people's shops and wrecking their businesses, and they're carrying swords and knives and things like that. You know, you see it all the time, and there's protests down there all the time too, and you know, I'm getting a little bit sceptical about going down there, like, for this concert. I'm going to say to Tony here this week, but, you know, straight in, straight out the fucking away. But, you know, the homeless is the situation for the UK residents. Like, people, for example, who are, you know, ex-military, who struggle. And now you see all these wee places opening up for to try and get these, like, veterans and stuff brought in. Like, I'll tell you a story. A couple of weeks back, up at one of our home games for the Harlem with Builders in Belfast, we gave a presentation, a donation of money to a place that opened up in, I think they said it was near Portavogie, for ex-veterans to come and stay, for homeless people who have been on the battlefield, you know, ex-war heroes, things like that there, who have nowhere to go, like a shelter for them to go, and we donated a lot of money to it, which was great to see. But they need to get more places like that open, and again, these hotels are just letting these fuckers come in. Now, I don't even want to get into it again, because I can't be arsed listening to all you fucking haters out there going ranting and raving again, saying, oh, he's off on a race rant again. No. At the end of the day, if you come into this country, like I mentioned the Portuguese person I met the other day, and I was talking about them, the way they have a view on it. You know, as soon as they stepped off the plane and started paying all their taxes, etc., 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 and they've worked hard and whatever. Talk about it in the podcast on Tuesday when I go back and listen to it. You know, you come into this country and you work hard and you pay your tax like everybody else, and you are a credit to society like any other normal human being would be here in the UK or whatever. You know, that's great. But these fuckers are coming in knowing the fact that the government's going to give them benefits and houses and everything paid for them, and they're coming in with their 5, 6, 7 kids, whatever, and their 3 aunties and 2 uncles, whatever else, and everything's being handed to them. And, you know, it pisses me off the fact that, like, there's people out there who've worked all their life and now are homeless because of the whole economy situation, and they're now struggling. Old age pensioners are scared to put their heating on. People are afraid to switch their TV on because they don't want to pay their fucking TV license because they're scared of the goons coming around their door and wanting to put old age pensioners in fucking jail for not paying their TV license. But you get these ones coming in off the boats and not wanting to work and not wanting to do fuck all because they know, oh, the UK gives us everything, and they get all the benefits and everything handed to them, and it's bullshit. Whenever the homeless people are out there and they're living on the streets and they're struggling. And I mean, I had a situation a few years ago with a homeless man in Liverpool where Lewis Brooke and I met this man who used to sleep outside the Santander Bank. What street was it in? Oh my God, what street was it in? I think it was it Castle Street? I'm trying to remember it was actually just across from Liverpool 1. It was about 5 or 6 doors up from one of Lewis's favourite places in Liverpool, Pound Bakery. I know, Pound Bakery. What a place. I was talking to them actually the other day on Instagram, but we're trying to get a wee visit over there in the summer to the one our summer holiday in England. Anyway, this man is actually a war guy, a war veteran who served in Afghan and all these different places. I think he served in Iraq as well. He was in his late 40s, early 50s. And the way you get these ones who legitimately lie in the streets because they're alcoholics or they're druggies, whatever, and they put themselves in that situation and all that there. But this guy was legit. He slept outside the Santander Bank. And I remember one time when I first went to Liverpool, I went into the bank to try and get them to change money from, obviously, money we have here in Northern Ireland, Northern Bank money, to the Bank of England money, so I could spend it while I was over there. I just happened to ask the girl at the counter, is that guy outside legit? Because you get these ones that sort of beg outside and they're not really legit and stuff. And I've had a few incidents in the past where I've ran into people who were beggars in the street and they turn out to be complete liars and they're not really homeless and beggars, they're just there to make money. But that's another story for another day. But yeah, no, it was just like, she said, yeah, he's legitimately homeless. He was in the military. My husband knows his brother. who also serves, and it's like, shit, right, okay. So for a wee period of time, I remember Lewis and I were going over to Liverpool quite a bit back and forward and whatnot. You know, we would sort of stop by him, ask how he was doing, and he'd be like, oh, hello guys, how are you again? And, you know, you felt really bad about the guy, so we go and get him a wee cup of coffee from Pound Bakery and a wee sausage roll, keep him warm and stuff like that. They're like, guys, I have no issues helping homeless people if they are legitimately like that, but you get the ones that do sort of take the piss and whatever else, because I saw a post even on Facebook this morning from one of the community pages here where I live in Northern Ireland, and there's a lot of fucking fake beggars out around town all looking for money when they're really not fucking homeless, which really grinds my gears and pisses me off to the back teeth. But going back to the story here, this person is just like such a gentleman, and I remember one day I spoke to him. I said to him, you know, if you don't apply for like to try and get a job or a home, he says the council won't give me anywhere because of no work and of no this and of no that. And for a long time we saw him and we always helped him, and every time we saw him he was nice to us and he remembered who we were and he remembered our names, and you know, every time I left him I just felt so fucking bad. And I went back, I hadn't seen him for about a month or two, and I went back over again for a Liverpool game, and I went back into the bank again. I just didn't see him there, and I thought, I'm going to go and ask the staff to see where he is, and I'm hoping the worst hasn't happened, because I hope he hasn't passed away because he's like died of pneumonia or something or whatever. So I went into the girl, and I'd seen the same girl again, and I said, I don't know, you remember speaking to me a few months ago, but I asked you about the guy outside, and I mean, what's the situation? She says, he got himself a job, he got himself cleaned up, the council finally gave him a flat somewhere, and he's now living there, and he's working in some, I don't know where she said where he was working, but he got a job. But he was homeless for 3 years. He slept on the street for 3 full years, freezing his balls off year in, year out, rain, sleet, snow, whatever. Veteran of the war hero who served our country to keep our country safe. And then I look at these ones that are coming off these dinky boats, making videos on fucking TikTok, laughing and joking, knowing the fact that they're coming to the country to get free benefits and everything fucking else handed to them. But then there's ones on them boats who are families who legitimately want to get away from a war zone or want to get away from an area where they are legitimately struggling, and they want to get away for their safety, for their family, their kids and all, which I completely understand and I agree with. But it's the ones who are here just to take the fucking piss and get everything handed to them. That grinds my fucking gears. That makes me cross. So it does. But yeah, that man is, as far as I'm aware, before COVID, last time I seen him, as far as I know, he's doing well. And one of the girls said that he actually came into the Santander Bank about 2 or 3 months after he had got a job in a flat, and he brought in like little thank you gifts for the staff, which I thought was a really lovely touch. Big bunch of flowers for the girls, and you know, all the different thank you cards and whatever else. So the staff must have obviously, you know, built some type of relationship with him, knowing the fact that he was there and he was sleeping outside the bank all the time. And you know, that's a good story. And then you hear about the ones who are like literally left to fucking rotting down the street, which is horrible. And you know, I look at that thing there about Princess Diana and saying about William saying that his mum would be disappointed about the whole homeless situation in the UK, which I completely agree. You know, even here in Northern Ireland, around the big city of Belfast, there's all these abandoned buildings that have been lying empty for fucking donkey years, and I mean abandoned buildings, like big buildings, which they could turn into shelters for people who are legitimately homeless. Fill them full of beds, put them into it. Okay, it's not the best in the world, but it gets them off the street, it gets them into the shelter, it gets them into heat, it gets them a proper bed to sleep in. See this fucking bullshit now? You walk through Belfast City now, there's so many different people that are homeless now, and it's ridiculous. It is legitimately fucking ridiculous. And it makes me so cross, because you know, when I lived in Belfast as a kid growing up, you maybe saw 1 or 2 homeless people if you were lucky. Now there's so many. It's horrible. And all them big derelict buildings all across Belfast and whatnot that are all lying empty, and they're not being used, which could be turned into hot places for people to go and, you know, put their head down for the night, get a bit of heat, bit of food and stuff like that. But all these business owners are too busy building more fucking apartments and building more bullshit things that are not even really necessary. And these homeless people are basically left to rot, which I think is horrible. But I do agree with Prince William there on that situation, that his mum would literally be, disappointed in the situation of the homeless here in the UK. Guys, there's a wee subject here I want to talk about, which is social media. This platform, TikTok. And I did say to you I was going to maybe go back onto it myself, and post some stuff promoting the vlogs and promoting the podcast, and then in recent weeks I was reading some of the stories and different bits and bobs, and I was thinking to myself, maybe I should just stay away from that platform, because today it's been announced that TikTok is to be banned from work phones under the new plans by the UK government, and possibly be banned in the UK on down the line in future reference because of the content on the platform. And to be quite honest with you, I would agree with that, because some of the shit that I have saw on TikTok this past year has been vile, disgusting, horrendous, and just, oh my God, some of the stuff I see on there, oh fuck me, I want to throw up my mouth. And I've seen a lot of things on there that are encouraging the younger generation to do things that they shouldn't be doing. It's encouraging people to commit suicide. I've seen a lot of suicides because of TikTok. Stupid fucking challenges that are killing people. All these different... And then the other day I came across this guy from the UK who does YouTube, and he was showing me these particular people on YouTube. Like, I talked about this before, about, the whole gender bullshit where God doesn't have a gender anymore. God apparently is not a he anymore, and all this fucking nonsense. There's these 3 or 4 TikTokers in the UK that are trying to get an audience of the teenage age, the age of my kids, 14 and 17, to, be someone who they're fucking not. And some of the shit that they are spouting out of their fucking mouth, literally, if I met those sons of bitches, I would smack those bitches right up the face and say to them, you sick, twisted fucking freak, encouraging young ones to be someone who they're fucking not. Listen, I always encourage my kids to be themselves. Be the best of themselves they can be. Like, for example, if my son or daughter was to walk in here tomorrow, like, for example, if Lewis walked in tomorrow and went, Dad, I'm gay, I'd be like, okay, that's your choice. I would take a wee while to obviously adjust to it, because obviously it's a big shock. Your child's obviously made a big announcement like that, which is fine. Or if Brooke was to walk in and say, Dad, even though Paul, if you're listening, you'd probably fucking kill her boyfriend, but Dad, I like girls more than boys now. It's not, that's just the way it is. But these fuckers on TikTok are going around and they're saying about, I want to be a fucking... People are registering themselves for all these genders. They're just not even existent. You're a man or you're a woman. Simple as. Listen, if you want to dress up if you're a man, you want to dress up as a woman, that's your fault. If you're a woman, you want to dress up as a man, that's fine. You want to go and get an operation done and get boobs and have your man sausage chopped off, or have your lady garden adjusted, or whatever the fuck you want to do, that's your choice. You know what I mean? But some of these people on TikTok now I've seen over the last few days has been just absolutely horrific. Like, this one particular fucking Looney Tune was sitting there saying about God is non-binary and God doesn't have a fucking a he or she, he's not a gender anymore, and you do this and change your way, and it's like fucking brainwashing your kids. I saw a fantastic video on my personal Facebook today of a friend of mine who was in the car with their 2 kids this morning playing good, normal, honest music, saying, trying to teach my kids proper, normal singing music instead of that TikTok bullshit they see. Which I agree completely. It's just fucking bullshit. TikTok. Now, there is some stuff on TikTok which is hilarious. There's wee funny challenges, and like I would watch wee silly videos on there. And there's a guy on there called That Ginger Fella. He does all these wee funny skits, and he's funny. He's from London. He's a funny guy, and he does all these funny skits, and he is quite funny. There's some good stuff on there, you know what I mean? But it's getting worse when it comes to this or bullshit, and I've seen the rise in teenage suicides especially, and rise in stuff on TikTok that's encouraging kids to be not very nice people. And again, now the government's going to be banning it from workplaces, which I completely agree, and possibly ban it from the UK altogether, which is... And how TikTok let these people post some of this bullshit on there is beyond me. If you post it on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, it's removed. So how the fuck can the Chinese platform TikTok get away with it? Are they really that fucking sick over there? Well, they are treating their people like fucking animals, still doing lockdowns to this day and having people doing doing COVID tests every fucking day 3 years later. Locking them in fucking apartment buildings while camera drones are flying in between the buildings and looking through every window to make sure you're still in your fucking house like an animal in a cage. You know what I mean? So how can this platform let these people post this bullshit, this negative narrative to people, especially because I've always said this, kids from no age watch TikTok videos. I always said this, and I learned this from a very young time of being a father. Kids' brains are like sponges. They absorb so much information. I mean, I was the same too, and I'm still learning it. I'm 41 here. I'm 42 in July, and I'm still learning more every single fucking day. I learn stuff every day that I never knew about 10 years ago, 15 years ago. But kids' brains are like sponges, and they're seeing all this from an early age. And they're going, and I sometimes blame the parents for, like, you walk through a supermarket and you see a child of 3 and 4 year old walking around with a phone fucking watching TikTok videos, stupid TikTok videos. Like, we young lads and like 4 and 5 year olds seeing girls running around with their boobs and their fucking ass hanging out, dancing around, doing these videos, flashing their tits at everybody, and, that's the type of shit you don't want your son fucking seeing, or your daughter seeing. But this is what TikTok's letting people do. And they're getting away with it, and people are becoming famous because of it. And this is because people have kept asking me over the last couple of weeks about TikTok, why haven't you posted stuff like you said you were going to do? I started seeing all this different stuff again, and I'm going, no. I saw one the other day, they were taking the piss out of Thomas the Tank Engine. Now, obviously, you get all these wee skits about taking the piss out of different things like that there, but say you're a child, a 2 or 3 year old, and you love Thomas the Tank Engine, and your mummy and daddy hands you the phone, and you see Thomas the Tank Engine on your mummy's phone, and it turns around and says, Thomas has got this here, and got these wheels, and a nice shiny engine, and then at the very end it goes, he's also got an addiction to crack cocaine. And you see Thomas with his big fucking stubbly face going, Rawr! And driving in the other trains. And then also he turns around and says that his ex-wife's left him for another train, and you see this other train trying to do sexual innuendos with another train. And that 2 or 3 year old's looking at that and going, Mummy, what's Thomas doing? You know what I mean? But I've seen a lot of parents recently as well complaining about TikTok. Like, TikTok can be fun. I've seen it all during lockdowns and stuff, which was a head scratcher when people were doing stuff from home because they were bored, because we were all locked in our homes. But then again, I talked about this months ago when the NHS doctors and nurses were supposedly under pressure and the wards were constantly chock-a-block, but they can always find to get 20 or 30 members of staff out in a car park to do a fucking TikTok dance. So, yeah, TikTok apparently is going to be banned from offices, including civil servants. So there you go. And a possible ban in the UK. I wouldn't be disappointed if it did go, to be honest. Let me know what you think about it, guys. If you use TikTok yourself, let me know what you think. But I think I don't think I'll be going back on there anywhere near there again. People were saying to me, it'll be a good platform to promote the vlogs and promote the podcast and whatnot. Really? I think I'll just take on what I'm doing right now, and I'll just take on whatever I'm doing. So, no thank you. Definitely not for me. But they're all saying about this today. It's in the news today about TikTok, so it's interesting. So it is. It is very, very interesting. Yes, I thought we'd think here as well today, guys. If you live here in the UK and you are a Tesco, if you shop in Tesco and you're a Tesco Club Card customer, the customers are now being given 1 month warning. The supermarket makes crucial changes to the scheme. Users of the Tesco Club Card have been warned that a key tool to use to access the scheme will disappear in a month. The popular loyalty card was launched in 1995. Oh my god. Has over more than 20 million users in the UK, and as of 2021, it can be used online or in store. The points scheme offers vouchers for the shoppers. Basically, when you buy stuff, you basically earn points. It's money saving as well. You can also, your points can be used as well with other outlets like Pizza Express and Cinema World. Don't mention Pizza Express to Lewis. Customers who have a Tesco mobile can also use the voucher off their bill. But from April 18th this year, Tesco Club Card app will be closed, with the retail company rolling out a new app in its place. Tesco customers using the app will redeem the Club Card points. Using the app to redeem the points will get discounts. Will have to switch to the new Tesco Grocery and Club Card app instead. This will include vouchers and allow them to still purchase product at Club Card prices. So if you shop in the UK and Tesco, your things will be changing. I'm going to ring Mum today and tell her about that, and she'll be pulling her fucking hair out. She'll be stressing and worrying about that. Oh dear, oh dear. Oh, by the way, if you're asking about Dad this week, a lot of these were asked. I touched on it briefly at the end of the podcast there on Tuesday. Dad is doing great. Dad was round here on Tuesday night. He called around with Mum for a little bit, and he got a phone call from the hospital on Tuesday afternoon. His recent tests have come back all good. They've given him some exercises to do, and he is doing fucking great. He is out walking 15 minutes, 20 minutes a day to try and build up to get himself back into that way of walking again. He is not smoking at all anymore. I know. He came around and I said to him, "Have you smoked?" I haven't smoked a cigarette. So he's not even smoking at all. For a guy who was smoking 25, 30 cigarettes a day, and I noticed even sitting beside him, his breathing's a lot better too. He looks happier. He's sleeping better. And I said, "Well, Dad, keep it going. Don't let it go for a bit and then fucking let it drop, because at the end of the day, you had your warning." So Dad is doing great. So thank you. All your messages are still coming in about him. So thank you very much, guys. Do appreciate it. And he is in high spirits, and he told me to tell you all on the podcast today. Thank you for all your support. It means a lot to him. So it does. I may actually try and get a wee video done with him over the weekend or whatever, or early next week, and try and get him to say thank you to everybody, because at the end of the day, you guys have supported him so much, and it means a lot to him. So it does. So thank you very much for that, guys. I really do appreciate all your support, because even a wee message just to say, get well soon, that means a lot to Dad. I'm seeing another thing here as well about this budget thing going on about. I'm not going to get into fucking politics today, because I can't even be asked talking about it. I'm going to move on to your questions, guys, because I can't even be bothered looking at fucking politics. There was a budget thing done about people's pensions and stuff, which I'm not going to get into here, because honestly it makes your fucking teeth itch, and I can't be arsed talking about more politics today. Unbelievable. And I want to hear some of your questions here, guys, because at the end of the day, I did promise you. I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to go into the Jackass of the Week, which you probably fucking know who it is, but I'll leave it to the end of the program, like I always do. So I do, but I'm actually looking forward to later on getting this podcast dropped, and then I put a new vlog out yesterday, by the way, guys. I forgot to say to you about that at the start of the podcast too. Showed you Lewis now in that big 4-star country resort hotel. Go and check it out on the YouTube channel, Mirror Army YouTube channel. Go and check it out. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. I put that out yesterday, but I recorded a wee bits and pieces yesterday when Lewis and Ryan were out yesterday. Oh, by the way, before I get on to your questions, Lewis has currently got a hurt ankle at the minute. He was at football on Tuesday. Tuesday. And some wee shit 2-footed tackled him at football. But he's good. He's got a sprained ankle. He's been good the last day or two. He's been taking his medication. He's been obviously, stretching out and whatnot. And he's doing okay. So he got 2-footed tackled by some wee shit the other day at football. But he's good. But the way he was getting on Tuesday night was so funny, though. He was getting on like his fucking head was going to fall off. He was like, "Oh, my ankle." Oh. I was like, "Lewis, you're fine." He was checked over and all by doctors and stuff like that. He's absolutely fine. Sprained ankle. But he's getting on like his fucking head's falling off and his legs falling off. So, double-sided sticky tape sorts that out, Lewis. Stick your foot back on. You'll be alright. Strap it up. It was like, so then I went back in the day, it was like, strap it up and get on, mate. Anyway, he's doing good. So let's get on to some of your questions. Let's go into Facebook Messenger first of all, from the Mirror Army YouTube channel page. Let's have a look here and see here now. Where are we? Right, one here from Stephen. Stephen says, "Hi Matthew, Just thought I'd drop a message here. Just came across your YouTube channel last week for the first time. Never realised how many videos were on the channel. I too am from Northern Ireland. I am from Lurgan. And never realised that there was a local YouTuber as popular as yourself. Okay, popular, fair enough. I also seen your video where you were in Lurgan for the Harnwolf Welders game. I too was at the game but didn't know you were there, as I didn't find your channel until recently. I've been going through your videos and there's so many to look for. Over 2,000 I've found so far. And also your other channels, Redmen Football Ventures, and also your YouTube channel for Lewis, and the YouTube channel for your podcast as well. Love all your content. I've been watching loads of videos with my partner over the last week or so, as we've watched your kids grow up over the first 2 or 3 years of your YouTube channel, and really are enjoying all your content, from your early holidays, birthdays and more, to look at your recent social media posts to see how much your kids have grown up over the past 7 years is phenomenal. You're doing a great job, as being a dad on your own I'm sure is quite difficult. God, he does go on here a bit, doesn't he? It's great to hear though. Yeah, and it's great to see a man take care of his kids in the way you do. You should be proud of your 2 kids. They seem like lovely children, and hopefully one day I will get to meet you in person, have a photograph and have a chat. I hope one day to be a father myself, and will use you as a role model. Wow, me as a role model, really, to help promote me being a good father like yourself. Keep up the good work. Hopefully next time you're in Lurgan, let me know and I'd love to meet you, or I might see you at a local football game in the near future. All the best. Take care. Keep up the good work. Enjoy the podcast as well now, which is interesting to see a different side of you, but keep up the good work. What an email. What a message actually on Facebook. Thank you so much for that. I wouldn't say I'm really much of a role model when I come on this podcast, but yeah, thanks for your message. I appreciate it. Yeah, I was in Lurgan there not that long ago for the Irish Cup game with the Welders and stuff. But yeah, thanks very much for your message. I do appreciate it. It means a lot. Yeah, there's fucking thousands of videos on that channel to watch, which we're going to try and drag out some of the best bits for our video next week. Because obviously it's our 7-year anniversary, or 6 or 7. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 8 years. 2015, 8 years. 16, sorry, 7 years. Fuck me, 7 years on YouTube. Unbelievable. But thank you for your message. I do appreciate it. It means a lot. So, I'm going through some of the messages here in front of me on my laptop here, and all you were sending me names for the donkey. And you are still flooding in with your names for the donkey. Now, I did say I might just decide today, or maybe next week, because so many are still dropping names, like Wookie Dookie the donkey. There's one of them here. Dave. Okay, Dave the donkey. Bit plain, but basic. Actually, it's quite good. Actually, some of you've been dropping some of your names in. Polly the donkey. Polly, fuck. Robert the donkey. Roberto. There's another one. Roberto. It's all these different ones that you're dropping in here, subjects for the I'm going to leave it the next week and let you decide over the weekend before we make an official name for the donkey for Jackass of the Week. Anybody who's listening to us and tuning in radio for the first time, what Jackass of the Week is, we pick someone who is either a celebrity or someone like a sports star or something, or a movie star or whatever, and who's been a complete tit that week, or a fool or an asshole or whatever. We name them the Jackass of the Week. So if you're listening to the podcast here for the first time on TuneIn Radio, that's what Jackass of the Week is, basically. We're going to name this week's one shortly. But yeah, a lot of you have been asked just a few weeks ago to give me a name for the donkey. So a lot of you have been. What I'll even do is, I'll leave it till the end of next week. I'll pick out the top 10, and I'll even do like a wee draw. I may even film it and put it on social media. Put it in like a wee bowl with all the names and pick out the name. How's that sound? More interaction with the audience, you see. I'll give you till Monday. Give you the Monday to pick the name of the donkey. And we'll decide it on Tuesday's podcast. Because Tuesday's podcast is going to be the anniversary of YouTube. So, that's what we'll do. We'll name it on Tuesday. How's that sound? So keep your names coming. There's quite a lot of you there. So there is. But we'll pick one. We'll pick a top 10, put them in a name, and we'll pull it out, and we'll name the donkey. How fucking stupid I sound naming a fucking donkey. Sound like a fucking donkey myself. Anyway, let's go on to some of your Instagram messages. Let's go in here and have a nosy. Right, I've one here from Jack. Jack says, "Hi Matthew, disappointing result for Liverpool last night against Real Madrid. Do you think they were possibly going to turn around at all, or were you not hopeful getting into the game? Did you or did you not do a live reaction video last night for the game?" Well, I'm going to answer your question now. We were going to do a live reaction last night, but Lewis was gurning his lamps out about his fucking ankle. And he was saying, "I can't jump up and do anything if we score, my pain, my ankle's so sore." And we're watching the game, and he was complaining the whole way fucking through it. Even when we had great chances, he was in the middle of whinging like a 2-year-old. So I just turned the camera off because he pissed me off. The fact that we were 0-0 with Real Madrid, and also the fact that he was complaining in too much pain, and he didn't want to appear on camera because he was in so much pain with his ankle last night. So I decided that's not to bother me ass. And some people have been saying to me today, "I didn't do a live reaction because you got fucking beat." Don't talk shit. What a load of nonsense. Yeah, I'm disappointed we didn't do what they call a Barcelona comeback last night. I kind of knew we weren't going to do nothing, to be honest with you. It's just, I think the team now needs basically ripped apart and obviously rebuilt the game, because I think the team we have now is completely done. And I'll be the first to admit that we are not great now. They've figured out how we play. Some of the legs are gone, they're old and they need to go, and there's some players there just don't cut the chase anymore. And I think in the summer, if FSG don't give Jurgen Klopp money to spend, Liverpool are going to be far behind the likes of the Man Cities, and even this year Arsenal, and even United starting to creep back up into play again now as well. So we need to get our finger out of our ass and start getting some decent players in, and start putting in performances that we've been doing for the last lot of years when Jurgen's been in charge. And I'll be the first to admit it, I've loved the success we've had recently. Some of it still hasn't kicked in years later, like the European Cup wins, all them finals we've been to recently, and the Super Cup win, the World Club Championship, the FA Cup, the League Cup, all those trophies we've won. And it's nice to have them all, but again, it's about a consistency, keeping the consistency going. And this season has been an absolute fucking disaster. It reminds me of the season after we won the Premier League in 2020. And the season after, we were completely shit, and we ended up just qualifying for the Champions League by the skin of our teeth. So honestly, it's been a bullshit season, and I can't wait till it fucking ends. And if we don't get a player or two in that midfield, and another centre half, and another exciting forward, because to be quite honest with you guys, I'm not really overly excited about Nunez at the minute, and I think we need something. We haven't been able to replace Mane. And that's being totally honest. I mean, the whole team doesn't revolve around Mane, but he was a big aspect of the team. And I found that Salah played better when Mane was around, and Bobby Firmino. Bobby Firmino is obviously leaving at the end of the season too as well. It's going to be one of those seasons where I just can't wait for it to fucking end. And I hope that we don't just sign these random people who are going to take 4 or 5 years to gel, because we need ones now that are going to come in and make an impact, because if we don't, we're going to end up falling away to fuck again like we did before Jurgen came around. And I would hate to see that, because, okay, Jurgen likes to make superstars and stuff like that, but I mean, there's a lot of articles that popped up recently in the press about Jurgen saying that how loyal he's been to these boys, and he's been too biased towards some of these boys in the team. And I actually even see that in local football too. The manager has his favourites, and at the end of the day, it's not about who your mates are and who your favourites are. It's all about getting the results, and football is a results-based business now. And you don't get the results, you ain't going to be in your fucking job for longer. And it's been a shit season, and I'll be the first to admit that. And we're not going to win fuck all this year, but the main target now would be to get to that Champions League spot. And our next game is against Man City, and it's going to be another fucking day where I'm going to be pulling my hair out, and Lewis is probably going to be the same. So yeah, it's been a disappointing season, a season that I will like to forget quickly. So it would, quickly. Let's get on to one more before I go on to Jackass of the Week. Right, let's have a wee flick through the Instagram messages here. Right, I've one here from Emma. Emma is from Stockport in the UK. Hi Matthew, just wanted to give you a wee quick message to ask you a question. Are you heading to WWE Money in the Bank and SmackDown in London in July? Myself, my partner, and my 2 sons are heading to the event, and we're wanting to know if you're heading there too. We'd love to be able to meet you if you are going to be there. We were a Clash at the Castle. We knew you were going there. We looked everywhere for you, and we couldn't see you. If you're going to be there, let us know, because we'd love to meet you in person. Okay, Emma. answer your question, yes, we're going to be there. We will be there for SmackDown and Money in the Bank. We are going to be there. Lewis and I are going to be there. Yes, we will be there. So if you're there coming up to the week of it, I'll tell you what to do. For me, Darren and Emma, send me a message on Instagram a couple of days before you leave. And if you're around the surrounding area, we will arrange to meet you, you and your partner and your kiddies, and we'll meet up with you, and we'll take a picture, and we'll have a chat, and we'll have a good yarn, and we'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. Anything at all, not a problem. So if you're there, give us a shout, and obviously you're going to be there, yes, so give us a shout, and we'll arrange something. And it'd be nice to meet you and your partner and your 2 kids. And certainly Lewis and I will be honoured to meet you. Not a problem. Bring it on. We love meeting new people. So yes, certainly we will be there. We'll be there from the Friday morning till the Sunday night. Till we fly home. We're there for the whole weekend, so we are. So yes, we will be in London. So give us a shout. Excuse me, and we'll arrange to meet you there. Anybody else is going to that pay-per-view who listens to me from the UK, if you're about, drop me a message and we'll meet you. Even if it's at the arena or whatever, we'll be there. Come and see us, and I would love to meet you all. Be great. Same with the class at the castle. Fuck me. Me and Lewis were walking past the Cardiff Castle, and the next minute we heard all these lads shouting at us. Scottish fellas in kilts and stuff who watch us from Scotland come over and they wanted photographs and all with us and all. It was great to meet them all. They were fucking outstanding. Lovely lads. We met loads of people at Clash at the Castle. Loads of people. So we did. It's great, so it was. Even some ex-wrestlers from back home who I've known for years in the wrestling business over here. I met them over there. I met them in the train station. I met them in town. They were actually, when they came into the arena, they were like 2 sections away from us, and they were waving up at us, going, right, lads, again, hello. It was great to see. But, no, if you're there, Emma, give us a shout, and we'll arrange something for you. 100%. Right, let's get on to this wee segment that I love. My seat's getting very uncomfortable sitting here. Oh, before I head off onto the sunset for another episode and head off to my Thursday day of chilling out. Oh, here, by the way, today's Thursdays. You all know I have a beer on a Thursday night. But today's a special day, and people out there who don't understand wrestling, don't watch wrestling and stuff like that's fine. But a wrestler who's very, very famous as an actor as well and everything else, TV shows, Stone Cold Steve Austin, officially named in 2020 that the 16th of March will be officially 316 Day, because Austin 316, Stone Cold Steve Austin, it's his catchphrase, whatever, go and look it up. Today is 316 Day, and it falls on a Thursday day I have a beer. So it's 316 Day, I'm going to have a beer and fucking chill out tonight. So hell yeah, I had a beer, another beer, and the best thing about it is, I got no work tomorrow, and also the kids are off tomorrow. It's St. Patrick's Day tomorrow. So the kids are off, and I can have a nice lie-in tomorrow. So I'm going to have a few beers, and I'm going to chill out tonight. So, hell yeah. It's an all-win situation for me today. So it is. Right, let's get into that lovely segment that I love. It's night time for the Moore Army Podcast Jackass of the Week segment. There he is. Hold on. Here, there he is. I said, sorry for all you weird, creepy fuckers out there that think I'm being weird because I said there he is instead it could be or she is. Is it a male or a female donkey? I'm dipping my fishing rod into the pool of trolls again to try and reel them in. Come on ahead, Snowflake, let's have a debate. Right. Not very much consideration about this one now. There's maybe a couple of words sort of sneaked up there this week. Obviously, we're getting on like balloon heads and whatnot. But I've came to the decision, there was no other question about it, that this person had to be the complete fucking total jackass of the week. Now, we've had some really good ones over the last lot of months. We've had the likes of Nicola Sturgeon, Boris Johnson, what do you call her, the ex-Prime Minister lasted 40 days. We've had politicians, we've had TV celebrities, we've had fucking, you name it, we've had it. But this one is a no-brainer. So after very little consideration, the Moore Army Jackass of the Week for this week is, can I get a drum roll, please? Thank you very much as always. The Moore Army Podcast Jackass of the Week for this week is Gary Lineker. Sorry, I won't rephrase that now because it's a BBC person. I want to speak properly. There it is, the donkey. Not there she is or there he is. There it is. So it is. It's the fucking donkey. I say he. You say she. I don't give a shit. It's a donkey. Fuck it. Gary Lineker is the jackass of the week because of his recent actions over the last week or so in relation to the whole tweeting situation and the controversy he was in with the whole bullshit in relation to Twitter and his views on the migrant situation, and obviously all the crap that he's been involved in the last week. He was taken off the air and the BBC didn't grow a set of balls and sack him, so they kept him around because he's a special little person. So yes, no hardly consideration there. Gary Lineker is the Mirror Army podcast jackass of the week. Right, I'm going to go because I got things to do today. Got this podcast to drop and I got other things to do today, and then I'm going to go tonight and I'm going to sit and watch some football. I'm going to have a really good night with beer. I want to enjoy 316 day. I want to have a couple of beers. I want to chill out and I want to switch off from this crazy world we live in. So I am. So guys, if you want to get in touch with us again in the podcast, don't forget the email. It's mirrorarmypodcast@yahoo.com. Contact me on all the old trusty social media, Instagram, Facebook, as well. I'd love to hear from you. And once again, welcome to all our new listeners on TuneIn Radio. Thank you for taking your time to listen to the podcastio. I do appreciate it. Add us to your favourites on TuneIn Radio. I would appreciate it. I'm still trying to get us on iHeartRadio, but they're being a bit fussy at the minute. Don't know why. Yeah, and we're going to be dropping hopefully next week on SoundCloud. I was hoping to get it on SoundCloud today for this podcast, but not next week. It'll be on SoundCloud. Fingers crossed for the anniversary of our YouTube, which is officially 7 years on YouTube this coming Tuesday, the 22nd of March 2016 was the first time we dropped the video, and we're still here. Unbelievable. Right, I'm going to go. I'm talking bullshit now. Right, guys, until Tuesday, enjoy your weekends. I'm off to Londonderry on Saturday for football. Hopefully heading to the ice hockey on Sunday for the big game with Cardiff Devils. Can't make the game on Saturday, but I should be there for the game on Sunday. So if you're at the Belfast Giants, I know a lot of you people out there who watch me on YouTube and listen to the podcast will be at the Giants game on Sunday. You will see Lewis and I there on Sunday. We'll hopefully keep an eye for you and come and say hello to us. We would appreciate it. And it's going to be a busy, busy weekend, so I'm looking forward to it. Right, I'm away to get my beer here and enjoy my 316 day. Guys, have a great weekend. Thank you for tuning into the podcast. Do appreciate it. Love all your support as always. And until next week, don't forget to get that name in for that donkey by Tuesday. By Monday. I will name it on Tuesday. Have a great weekend, guys. And until Tuesday, I'll see you back here for another episode of the Moore Army podcast. Thanks for listening, guys. See you all down the road. Have a great weekend. Thanks for listening, guys.